Welcome into Steelers Talk. I'm your host, Jack Sperry, and today we're covering the latest news and rumors surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers, starting off with Russell Wilson trade rumors here that have started to spark up here ever since the discussion around Justin Fields potentially becoming the full-time starter here in Pittsburgh have come up. We'll talk about that. Then we'll get into John Metchie and whether he is still in play for the Steelers to go out and trade for after he was a healthy scratch for the Houston Texans in Week 2 versus the Chicago Bears. We'll talk about that in our second segment today, and make sure you guys stay tuned for some good news that the Pittsburgh Steelers received here heading into Week 3. So if you want to see what that good news is, make sure you stick around to the end of today's show. So first up here, I want to have a little bit of an ask here, guys. All right, I want you to click that thumbs up icon so that we can beat our frenemies here at Chat Sports. We have multiple channels, as you guys know, and our channel for the Ravens is called the Ravens Rundown, which got their highest like total on any video in the history of their channel yesterday, 969. A new Ravens host, Joey Peterson, who many of you guys know is a kind of a stand-in producer here on Steelers previously. He's feeling pretty darn good about that 969 number. I think we can beat him right now. So here's what Joey Peterson told me earlier today. I'm not worried about the Ravens at all. They're clearly the best team in the division this year. If the refs don't screw us, no one would even care about the Steelers' 2-0 start today. With all due respect to Steelers Nation, they can't handle the flock. Go Ravens. Good luck beating us in this like battle today. So I said, bet. I think Steelers Nation can easily get 1,000 likes on this video. So if you want to put Joey Peterson in his place right now, click that thumbs up icon to kick off today's show. Okay, now let's talk about Russell Wilson here, because I do think that the chances that Russell Wilson gets traded away from the Pittsburgh Steelers before the trade deadline are not zero at this point, because Justin Fields is doing a good job. He is completing nearly 70% of his passes. He hasn't thrown an interception, right? He is 2-0 as the starter of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and if it wasn't for some penalty issues, if maybe he had another good receiver on the field, I really do think that Justin Fields would probably get this offense to 20-plus points if all those things were going right and the offense was staying on schedule and all these different things. And if Fields gets named QB1, especially if they get that victory over the Los Angeles Chargers this week in Week 3, and you're starting out 3-0 to start the year, I mean, I just think that I think that Fields is going to be named QB1, and in that case, Russell Wilson is still going to want to start somewhere. He's going to want to get traded. Now, he does have a no-trade clause in his contract, but listen, in the event that Fields is named the full-time starter, he's going to want to get traded. He might even ask to be traded formally so that he can have a chance to resurrect his NFL career with a different NFL team that needs a quarterback. So here are some potential options. The New York Giants, obviously Daniel Jones, Drew Lock, Tommy DeVito. I don't think any of those options are going to work for the New York Giants. Brian Dable and Joe Shane's jobs might be on the line, so they might get a little desperate here and give maybe even an early day 3 draft pick to the Steelers in exchange for Russell Wilson. The Las Vegas Raiders are another team. Antonio Pierce was an interim head coach last year. He's kind of unproven. His job could be on the line. That offense has been awful to start this season. Then the Miami Dolphins, depending on how long Tua Tagovailoa is out of the lineup for them. They did sign Tyler Huntley today, but who knows, that could be an option if Tua is going to miss an extended period of time this season. And obviously, that's a situation that I think Russ would probably like to go in there with Mike McDaniel from the Kyle Shanahan tree. So what say you guys? Let me know down there in the comments section. What is the % chance that Russ gets traded this year? Put it on a scale of 0 to 100 for me. 0 meaning no chance he gets traded, to 100 meaning there's a 100% chance he's definitely getting traded. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time. But let me know the likelihood that Russ gets traded this year. Now, this might be crazy, guys. I'm going to go with 50%, all right, because I think that the chances that Fields eventually takes over as the full-time starting quarterback by the trade deadline are relatively significant at this point. The team is winning. I think that he is playing relatively efficient football, right? He has never completed passes at the rate that he is completing them right now. He has never protected the football in the way that he is protecting them. He is really doing a good job targeting downfield, especially to George Pickens. And if Roman Wilson comes back and he's a really good player for the Pittsburgh Steelers, you're going to have two legitimate receiving weapons that can separate down the field for Fields to take advantage of here. So if that's the case, I think Russ wants out. And I do think that he would accept a trade to a team like the New York Giants, the Las Vegas Raiders, or the Miami Dolphins to give him one last shot to be a full-time starter for an NFL franchise. Before, if he's going to be demoted to backup status, and I think that means retirement for Russell Wilson. So now let's shift over to John Metchie here, who obviously this fan base has talked a lot about here. Even going back to the Brandon Ayuk saga, there's been people that have been on the John Metchie train even while Brandon Ayuk was still available for the Steelers to go get. They say, I'd rather have John Metchie. He's cheaper, all these different things, and I certainly understand that perspective. And he was a healthy scratch in week 2 for the Houston Texans, indicating that he's further down the depth chart than guys like Robert Woods, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, and, of course, Nico Collins. And if I'm Steelers GM Omar Khan, I am making that call to Houston right now, all right? Based on what we've seen from the Steelers wide receivers at this point, it has been horrendous, all right? 5 catches for just 28 yards in those 2 games for all receivers on the Steelers team not named George Pickens. Now, Pat Freiermuth has had some nice catches, picked up some first downs as well. He's probably your number 2 receiving target right now, but the Steelers are desperate for a number 2 wide receiver right now. I think John Metchie right now would probably be the number 2 receiver on the Pittsburgh Steelers roster, and because he's so far down on the Texans depth chart right now, I don't think he would cost too much. He's an unproven receiver. He's an unproven entity, so I think that this would be a fair deal for both sides. If the Texans want to get an extra draft pick, maybe it's a 4th-round pick at the very most, but let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Are you trading a 5th-round pick for John Metchie to be your number 2 receiver this year and moving forward? Type A if you would accept it, or type D if you're going to decline it. In just a second here, I'm going to be talking about our friends at Game Time. While I'm talking about Game Time, let me know your answer to this question down there in the comments section. And with that, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Game Time, which is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. And folks, we all know that watching a Steelers game, especially at Acrisure Stadium, is unlike anything you can get from watching the Steelers game on your couch. So if you want to go see more Steelers games this year, you can check out the new feature on the Game Time app called Game Time Picks, which filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't waste time searching through thousands of tickets. So here's how it works. You go on the Game Time app, you find an event you want to go to. Let's go to the season to the home opener this weekend against the Chargers. You go into that game, you select Game Time Picks, and it automatically filters all the tickets in their database for that game into a special algorithm to show you the best deals on the best seats. It's absolutely phenomenal. With this, you don't have to do your own research, going up to a bunch of different ticketing apps, and you don't even have to do the research on the Game Time app itself. Game Time Picks allows you to just get it done that easily. It does the work for you, so you can just get your tickets and get out. What I love about using the Game Time app is that you get the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event, all-in pricing so you don't get slapped with crazy fees at checkout, and flash deals so you can get even cheaper tickets the closer you wait to game time. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Again, terms apply. It's just for that first purchase. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. So now I kind of teased the good news heading into week 3 here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And what that good news is I do think that Roman Wilson is on the track to play in week 3, and it couldn't come at a better time. Like I said, through the first 2 weeks of the NFL season for the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's been George Pickens, it's been Pat Freiermuth, kind of, and it's been nobody else for the Steelers in terms of receiving. They are in desperate need of a wide receiver too, and it's a lot of pressure to put on a rookie a wide receiver that was drafted in the 3rd round to immediately be your number 2 receiver and be an impact player. But I think that with the play style of Justin Fields, with what they're going to ask Roman Wilson to do, he's going to be asked to catch some footballs and help out George Pickens. Right now, that's what the Steelers need because, listen, man, 28 yards and 5 catches from the rest of your receiving core. I kind of like some of the things that Calvin Austin III does. I was willing to give Van Jefferson a try. They tried feeding him a little bit more in week 2, but he only ended up with 2 catches. I think Roman Wilson has the ability, and we know the track record that the Steelers have in drafting these receivers, especially in the middle to late rounds. It's very good, right? So I believe in Roman Wilson. I think he fits what Arthur Smith and Mike Tomlin want from a number 2 receiver in this offense. And I think that Roman's ability to win deep definitely fits with Justin Fields' skill set. All right, we see it with a guy like George Pickens, who's able to separate down the field and how successful he has been. Roman Wilson, his thing is getting open deep down the field, all right, on deep crossers and doing all these things they did at Michigan. I think he's going to be asked to do a similar type of thing here at the Pittsburgh Steelers. And now that he's close to fully healthy, and he almost played in week 2, didn't end up playing, but it sounds like he is going to be ready to go for week 3. He could be a huge X factor for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and getting this guy in the lineup is definitely good news for this football team. Not to mention, guys, I haven't even mentioned this. Roman Wilson blocks his ass off, man. Like, his philosophy is no block, no rock. And that's kind of like a pause moment for me right there. It's like, what do you really mean by that, Roman? But at the end of the day, it means you have to block to get the football. And I love that mentality. That is so Pittsburgh Steelers. That is so a culture fit. And I just think that, with Van Jefferson struggling with the run blocking aspect of things as the current wide receiver too, getting a guy like Roman in here that Arthur Smith has said can play outside and inside, I think that ability to get open down the field and then block his butt off in the run game is really going to be 2 things that really add another element of spice and another level of competency for this Steelers offense heading into week 3 and beyond. So let me know down there in the comments section, what's your confidence level in Roman Wilson leading or heading into week 3 versus the Chargers? Put it on a scale of 1 to 10 for me, 1 being not confident whatsoever, super shaky, to 10 being I got so much confidence in Roman Wilson. He's going to be awesome from the word go. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. And if you enjoyed today's video here on Steelers Talk, we got more content coming your way throughout the week. Daily Steelers videos breaking down the latest surrounding the black and gold, breaking news coverage. Like if Mike Tomlin announces Justin Fields as the first full-time starter, we're going to have a video for you guys. We might even go live for that. That's a pretty big news story right there. Also, speaking of live shows, we go live twice a week during the week and then once on the weekend for Steelers games. It's all 100% free. We're super close to 60,000 subscribers. We are currently the largest individually run Steelers news channel here on the YouTube platform. That's for a reason, guys. So if you love Steelers content and you want the best there is when it comes to the black and gold and the coverage around this team, make sure you click that subscribe button right now.